Hi, welcome to the channel. My name's Spiers. So, you've written a video script, you want to run it by a colleague or a friend, and you're repeating it to them, and they start using their mobile phones. You've lost their attention. So, you ask them what do they think, and they're like, so what was the point of the video? So clearly you need to do a bit more work on this. So I'm going to give you 12 tips on how to structure your content so that you'll keep their attention, you'll get them to lean in, pay attention, and it'll drive customer attention, customer action. So let's dive in. Hi, I'm Spiers from Slipstein Creative Agency. So this is going to be about writing a script for vlogs or corporate brand videos or any type of content like that. Now, you could be writing it for yourself, or one of your clients is writing this and you're going to be doing the production. So often you'll need to help guide them through that, because you'll come across this where they'll give you a script that you've got to work with, and you know it's not going to quite work for a number of reasons. So I'm going to break this down into talking about vlogs, and then we'll talk about corporate and brand videos. So straight off, what you want to do is set the scene. You've got to remember, you've only got, as we all know nowadays, 10 seconds or so to get people's attention. You want to get them to stop leaning before they click onto something else, scroll on to the next bit of content. So you've got to set the scene so they know they're in the right place straight away. Next, what you want to do is kind of state the problem. So again, you want something that they can relate to. Now, often you can do this by posing a question. So it makes people, the questions are really good because that makes people think. So it makes them go into their mind and go like, yeah, let me understand, let me work this out. So already you've got them to connect with what you're wanting to say. Next, what you want to do is show that you're going to offer a solution. So you could be suggesting that you know how to solve the problem and how you're going to solve the problem. So again, it gives them a purpose to want to continue watching this video. So next, what you want to do is tip 4. So we had set the scene was tip 1, number 2, the problem, number 3, the solution, number 4, the benefits. So what you want to be stating right up front is, what are the benefits by following this process? What's the value to the customer, to the viewer, to the audience? Again, they've got to have a reason for wanting to continue to listen or watch your content. So you want to state right up front in the first 10 seconds how they'll benefit from watching your video. Also, you want to let them know why it's important, because that shows there's value, it's informative, it's knowledgeable, and it's going to make a difference to them. If it's not going to make a difference to them, again, they've got no reason to continue watching. Another way of doing this, and this is point 6, is you can often give statistics or reference other websites, bits of information, government statistics, events that have happened, anything that will strengthen your argument. So if you think about how I started this stream, I set the scene by telling a little story. So it's imagining you're there writing a script and you talk to someone about it and they don't get it. So I've set the scene, I've given you the problem, I've told you I'm going to give you 12 tips to how to solve this and how to structure it. So I'm offering a solution. The benefits are you're going to keep their attention, you're going to engage them and drive customer action. So I'm also showing you the solution and the benefits, because you're going to create an action. So this is just straight up front. You can see straight away how we're structuring these. And also another thing to think about is keep to like a maximum of 3 key points, because we can only hold so much information. If I gave you a whole ton of facts, you would only actually the next day, later in the afternoon, only remember a small amount of that. So make sure there's 3 things that are going to really stand out for people in the information that you give them. And so then if we look at in the same way, if it's more for a brand or for a corporate video, whether it's you gain your own or you're creating this for a brand or a corporation, there's some other elements you might want to structure this all slightly differently. And things to take into account would be when you're setting the scene there, you want to be telling a bit of a story. So often when customers do that, clients do that, they get quite elaborate, and one will talk for longer than necessary, or we want to keep the attention of our viewer. So likewise, we need to think about how to keep that engaging. And when we're writing our story, you want to think about what's your why. So we all know Simon Sinek's TED Talk on your why. And really it's about, why did you do this? What motivated you? What was important to you? So that's what will engage the viewer. That's what they really care about. That's what they'll connect with. Why do you do what you do? And that in turn tells people all about your business. But again, most importantly, it connects you with them and to what you're doing and so the why. A thing to always remember when doing this, and this comes into point 9, is make it about the viewer. So often we always talk about, it's easy for us to then start talking about us and why I do it and what's important to me, and I do this and I do that, my business is. And really we lose people's attention straight away, because ultimately we care about ourselves and how it affects us. So if you think about putting it from the perspective of the viewer, and actually when we do that, we realize in truth that a lot of why we do stuff is yes, we might want to make money and create a business, but we're often we're doing it to solve a problem, because we're all affected by things. So what is that? And so with what you do, how does it affect someone else? Who are the people you're helping? How do you help them? So if we talk about our subject matter from that perspective, then that is like super engaging for the viewer. So remember, don't make it all about yourself, make it about the viewer. So just think about the language you use. So just think about the words you're using. So point 10, what's the benefit to the consumer? So if we think about what's important to people, you can often think about how's it going to affect the environment? How's it going to affect things politically, socially, emotionally? So it doesn't matter what business you're in, whether it's finance or healthcare or whatever industry. If I've got some financial advice for you, how's it going to affect your future or your business? With healthcare, I might want to create this amazing service, but how's that going to benefit the individual? So always get that up front. Lead with the benefits. Always lead with the benefits. So, and point 11 is, who are you benefiting? So who is this for? So you want to make sure it's quite clear in your content up front who's this for? Who's this service for? Who's this product for? Who are you creating this content for? And that's not just about where you're distributing it, but in the content, make it quite clear so the viewer knows they're in the right place and you're talking to the right person. The good old one, what's your USP? And everyone hates that. But if you think about what's different about what you do, what's important about what you do, what's different about what you do, what's special about what you do. And another little tip is ask someone else, ask a friend, ask one of your top customers, what really helped them the most, what was really important to them about what you do. And that's often really helps you define what your USP is. Because often we do things out of our passion, and to actually nail it in just a couple of words what your USP is, and often we come out with these kind of stock standard statements, and actually there's something much more motivating behind it all for people that you find harder to articulate, that someone else from a third person perspective finds much easier. It's like if I said to you, what are your gifts? What are your God-given gifts? And sometimes we find that very hard to state, but someone else can go, oh yeah, but you're fantastic at this, or you really motivate people in this way. And it can be often easier from someone else's perspective. So that's my point 12 is make sure you get that in there, and most importantly. So just to give you some top tips here, when doing this, always write it out in full. Use those structured bullet points, then shift them around, write it out in full, even if you're not going to use a teleprompter, even if you're just going to speak from the heart. Always use a teleprompter. Don't always use a teleprompter, always write it out, because that'll help you organise your thoughts. And I always tell people to practice it in front of a mirror, or do a recording on the camera, or do it to someone else. Vocalise it, because that also will help you organise your thoughts, give it a bit more structure. You'll realise some things aren't important, or there's some things that actually you haven't put in that you'd like to put in. So you'll find that super helpful. And it's a big mistake to think, yeah, I know my business really well. I've been doing it for tens of years. I can just speak to the camera, because we start to look at that camera and we go, and you don't always get out as fluidly the information and the content as you would like. So don't be fooled by that. Write it out. And then you can always see, have I missed anything as well? When you're writing, always state things in the positive. So this is your kind of psychology in here. And don't put negative statements in there. So you could be saying why you do this. And often we think about it as if because of things that annoyed us, frustrated us, things we could see in the market that didn't work well. So although those things are very true and important, it's also, you could state that in the positive. So rather than saying, I wanted to do this differently because I saw people doing, put it in the positive that you do it because, and then you can go into the benefits. So as soon as you start to go into that, you'll be stating it in the positive. So always look at and listen to what you're saying and see how that comes across. Always ask yourself the so what question. So if you've written something out, then look at it and then go to yourself, so what? Get someone else to do the so what test on you. Read it out to them and get them to ask you, well, so what? And then you'll get down to the heart of what you're talking about and the importance of what you're talking about. and it will keep it very defined, and it'll be a fantastic way of refining what you're talking about. So what questions? And then always get your passion across there. Passion. It's very easy to I'm in front of the camera, so I go a bit slower and I get a bit more self-conscious. And you forget to just be yourself and just get that emotion across, because that helps you connect with the audience, and that helps get all the information across. And it's the true you that you want to come out. And this applies to whether you're doing a corporate video, whether you're doing blogs, anything. Even if you've got actors on there, all these things are relevant and relative. So make sure you're getting all that in the messaging. And finally, don't sell to people. In all your messaging, don't try and sell. When you're thinking of call to actions, don't do a sale. Inspire people. Create content that is inspiring. Draw people to you, to your business, to your brand, to make people want to connect with you. So don't sell, inspire. And so that would be my final tip for the day. So thank you for listening. And if you enjoyed listening and watching this content, please do subscribe to the channel or follow me, and look out for the next week's live stream. So thank you very much.